Hello, it's Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So these two men on the screen, Lemon and Shannon Sharpe, I hope are going to be the beginning of black people, black men in particular, realizing their worth and realizing that they have a brand that they can market to the world and they can be successful without a white person pulling their strings. Both these men, to a certain extent, have been humiliated by these white corporate broadcasting networks. Lemon was on CNN for many years. Yes, he was extra. Yes, he had a sense of entitlement, and rightly so, because he was a really trained journalist. I Googled, what is CNN's mission statement? It says, CNN's mission statement is to inform, engage, and empower the world. Okay, so if you're going to inform, engage, and empower the world, you need to be talking about something besides Donald Trump and what's going on in Washington, D.C. That's not the world. When it started, when CNN began in 1980, it really was an international network. And it brought in ideas and information from all over the world. That CNN has changed. And it's almost as if the new CNN is only interested in local politics and the politics of war. It just talks about Donald Trump and whatever's going on with the President of the United States and whoever is coming before Congress to testify about whatever law they broke. Still, for many years, Lemon did well on CNN. But CNN has been sold several times, and each time it gets a new owner, that owner is worse than the one they had before. So Lemon didn't have much to work with, so at a point, he just started winging it and doing his own thing, his own way. And he started getting smart with people who came on his show and telling them off. And he was pissing people off big time. I think if you watched CNN during his tenure there, you saw he would take people on and he would tell them off. And so, of course, people got mad. Over time, the ratings went down, and CNN decided it is not our terrible programming, it's Lemon. So what we need to do is get rid of Lemon. I'd say it was at least a combination of the two. But the programming was definitely awful and still is. So they made up their mind that they were going to fire Lemon. But before they did that, they humiliated him by taking away his primetime show and putting him on a morning show between two white women who were just startups on the network, basically. And they sat and they waited for him to say something because they knew he would, and they were going to fire him. So his moment came when Nikki Haley came on there talking about Joe Biden being too old to be the president of the United States, and he basically told her, well, you're not in your prime either. You're past your prime, or something like that, he said. And oh my goodness, the feminists, they claimed, were all up in arms about it. So Lemon had to go. And so they fired him. After 17 years, he had brought in good ratings. He had been a good employee. But now it's time to go. So they fired him. So off he went into the land of obscurity. The good thing was he had a severance package. They bought out his contract. And so, not to be outdone, Lemon has been out there laughing it up and having a good time and showing the world that I will survive. Now lately, we get the word that Lemon is going to start his own podcast, The Lemon Show. And I noticed that there were two articles about Lemon and CNN by different news organizations. And I thought is he coming back to CNN? No. CNN's ratings have gotten worse since he left, but they are still trying to hang that on Don Lemon. Don Lemon has been gone almost a year. He is not responsible for the poor ratings that CNN has now in 2024. So Don Lemon is going to launch his own podcast, and it's going to be on X, formerly known as Twitter. And he says that's a bigger platform than CNN, so he couldn't resist throwing a little shade at CNN. And I hope for his sake and for the sake of black people that it is successful. I know a lot of black people don't like Don Lemon, but this goes beyond whether or not you like another black person. This speaks to black people being able to see their worth and not continuing to beg and grovel when you can get out there and get something on your own. And that brings me to Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe was on a show with this white man named Skip Bayless. He was very disrespectful to Shannon Sharpe. Just very disrespectful. It got to be so bad between them that other black men were talking about it. And I tuned in one day and he was just talking to him like he was a child, talking to Shannon Sharpe like he was a child. One day he even insulted Shannon Sharpe by comparing him to Tom Brady and saying what a much better player Tom Brady was. And it was just so unnecessary. And then Shannon would snatch off his glasses and just get all upset about this white man being disrespectful to him. So then I don't know what the situation, I don't know if Shannon Sharpe quit or if he was fired, I don't know. But he went and started his own podcast. And now he probably has the #1 podcast in the world right now, at the top or close to the top, because of his interview with Cat Williams. He has proven that he does not need a white person to give him a job, that he can create his own job. And I believe Don Lemon will do the same. But now, with Shannon Sharpe, black men are coming at him now because he did something wrong. You know, he didn't handle the interview right, or this, that, or the other, or he should have said this. Now, somebody was even saying, well, so they gonna take Shannon Sharpe, you know, like his life was gonna be threatened and somebody's gonna do something to him because he let a grown man come on his show and say what he wanted to say. And that was the reason why it was so interesting, because he let the man talk. But now those black men go sit up on that channel with this DJ Vlad white guy, and they talk and say whatever they want to say. And there has not been any threat about anybody doing anything to DJ Vlad. And they all go there and talk. But then a black man lets another black man come and speak his mind. Cat Williams didn't threaten anybody. He didn't slander anybody. He said what he had to say. He really didn't even use a whole lot of profanity or anything. He just said what he had wanted to say. And then here come these black men trying to rain on his parade because he was so successful. And it goes back to what I always say about black men. They don't like each other. They don't like each other. They don't like to see the other one succeed. And they'll do anything they can to keep that person from succeeding. Out of all those people that Cat Williams talked about on that podcast, and I'm repeating what other people have already said, nobody has said he was lying. Nobody has said he was lying. And he really wasn't slandering anybody. He said things like Ricky Smiley has been playing that old black woman forever. Well, is that true? It's true. He has been playing that Bernice Jenkins woman for a long time, even though I think some of Ricky Smiley's jokes are funny, but everybody doesn't have to agree with that. My point is that when black men start trying to stand up for themselves, then they got to worry about other black men. They don't have to worry about black women. They have to worry about other black men trying to talk them down and put them down and put bad mouth on what they're doing, and then turn around trying to threaten the person. And a lot of it has to do with, I believe, jealousy because he did so well. But this podcast with Shannon Sharpe started out with this white man humiliating him. And so he went out on his own, and now he's doing his own thing. I think that's trailblazing. He's blazing a trail, letting other black people see that you don't have to depend on the white man. You can go out and do your own thing. But I'm really happy for these two men, and I'm happy that they found their own voice, so to speak, and recognize they have a brand, they have a voice, and they have something to say that people want to hear. And they don't have to rely on somebody else to create a space for them. They can create their own space. And as far as liking them, I don't think that's important. I do like Don Lemon, but I'm really happy for these two men because humiliation from white people has forced them to become independent and self-reliant. And that's the testosterone that kicked in. Maybe they feel like they got to prove something, or maybe they just want to get back to work and they don't want anybody harassing them or anybody telling them what they can and cannot do or firing them because they said something they didn't like. So I do wish the best for these two men. I'm really proud of them. And I hope black people, including black men, will start thinking outside the box to see what I can do on my own without having to run to somebody else and get their permission to do something that I have the skills, the knowledge, and the ability to do for myself. I don't know when Don Lemon's podcast is coming out, and I am very happy that he is not going to go to another network trying to get a job, because the same thing is going to happen. He's going to say something that some white woman or some white man doesn't like, and then he's going to be on an apology tour, or he's going to have to go back groveling and begging them to give him another job. So Don Lemon is like, both these men, Shannon Sharpe and Don Lemon, have already made money in other fields anyway. So anyway, these two black men were humiliated, as far as I'm concerned, by the white media. But both of them, instead of wallowing in self-pity, they both decided to take the knowledge, the experience, the influence, and the platforms that they have and create their own broadcasting network, small though it might be. And this could be the beginning of something, because there are already a lot of black people on social media platforms now, and many are making serious money, and more will do the same. And then there will be something else will come up, and black people will branch out into other areas. I truly hope that that is what will happen. You can stand on your own 2 feet, be your own man, and handle your own business. And when you do that, people will respect you and they will support you. But y'all, let me know what you think. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.